We out here, boy. What's up?
It's the Brian's World podcast presented by The Citizen.
On the streets.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get this to work now. There we go. Got a little fade going on. All right, what it do? Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Brian's World podcast presented by The Citizens. I am Brian James. BJ, Brian will work. Some people just say Brian's World. I don't know. That doesn't matter what you call me. Actually, it does. Let me not say that because you know what happens after that. But yeah, no, it's Brian James. Hello and welcome to another episode. Thank you for joining. As you know, I'm stepping into this YouTube live thing. I'm really excited about it. It's really dope to see, you know, just everything that we got set up. It's almost like a TV station almost. The only thing that I want to tackle or see if needs to be tackled is the lighting. Like if I got to really change up the lighting or anything. But, you know, it's all good. Coming live from Baltimore, Maryland, where I reside, a rumored future hotspot for the novel coronavirus. So it is a very weird time around here right now. But, you know, we hang in there. We good. So, you know, this episode honestly was about... Okay. It was something I wanted to attack on the audio version of the podcast or on the like recorded version of the podcast. Let me go. It's gonna take me. I just gotta get my thoughts together. I usually have things together. I just gotta get it and keep it together. I gotta realize where I'm at right now and what's going on. Okay, but no. So this conversation was something I really wanted to talk about on the podcast, and I was gonna put out this episode. You know, I'm saying maybe what's today? Thursday. I'd probably put it out Saturday for real, because I wanted to take some time to gather my thoughts, but it kind of seems like the thoughts just kind of just fell on me throughout the day today. And it's based on the fact that although we are quarantined in separate locations and we are like dealing with whatever we're dealing with, we are told to keep our distance, and we are distant. You know what I mean? Like we're distanced, but we're not disconnected, you know? So this is a very difficult, I picked up my water bottle. I was supposed to drink something. Don't you hate when that happens? You might just be on something else. So I've been thinking a lot about what exactly is going on in the world. And I mean, honestly speaking, I don't know. Like this is what's been weird for me is that I'm the type of person that I you know, look at a lot of things. I'm very inquisitive. I like to try to ask a bunch of questions until I'm given the answer, until whatever problem is figured out. Or not even problems. Sometimes it's just, you know, whatever. I just want to know how something works. And this coronavirus thing, I just don't get it. You know, I mean, I understand, you know, the obvious things about it, but I guess kind of how it snowballed into what it is now. It's tough for me, you know. It's just weird because it just feels like failed leadership. But I ain't gonna get into all that. That's a whole different episode. But so I'm just noticing, man. Like it's just a time. It's just a different time for everybody right now, and everybody's on edge. Everybody's kind of dealing with whatever they're dealing with. They have bills that have to be paid that you kind of don't know if they have to be paid. We really don't know. We have no clue. You know what I mean? And you know you got some money. It's on the way. Like the government's supposed to be dropping off that care package for you. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be good with that with the stimulus check or whatever. But then, you know, there's some people that have lost their jobs. You know, some people who have lost loved ones. You know, some people who are stuck in whatever respective country they went to visit before all of this popped off. Everybody is dealing with something somewhere, you know. And another thing that I really started to realize when I looked at that, and something I had to remind myself of oftentimes, is that people grieve and deal with things differently. Now, I ain't no psychologist. I ain't no psychiatrist. I ain't got nothing to do with that stuff. You know what I mean? All I do is this right here. This is radio. I can do this with my eyes closed, you know? But I just, you know, I know for a fact that no two people, well, I ain't gonna say that. That might be a stretch. But I know put it like this. I know for a fact that it's not common that everybody grieves and deals with things in the same way, you know? So we are a big ball of confusion right now. You know, I forgot who wrote that song. I think I ain't gonna get into it, but we are a big ball of confusion right now. We are literally confunction. That's what it is. We are literally trying to figure out what's next. We're trying to figure out where we are. In some situations, we're trying to figure out who we are. We're trying to figure out what's in state for tomorrow. You know, what do I do now that I only live a couple miles away from my parents, but I can't see them, you know, because I don't want to get them sick, you know, like, how do I deal with that? Like I need to eat. I need to go to the grocery store, but, you know, according to the officials and the people, you know, the World Health Organization and you know, all these administrators and all that who say, you know, you shouldn't go out, shouldn't go to the store. Like, we're caught in the middle of so many different dynamics. And I think that there's absolutely nothing we can do about it in terms of trying to further understand this thing. And the only reason I say that is because there's always a yearning for more sincerity with every press conference that they have about the virus. There's always a yearning for more information with every bit of information that we receive. And then, you know, they may find something out and then find out another piece of information that's completely contradictory to what we initially learned. So we're just caught up in a whirlwind, you know. But although I can't speak for that. Like, I can't say that, you know, the president and everybody else who is in charge of this, Republicans, Democrats, everybody, I can't say that they're going to wake up one day and everything's going to be back to normal. Like, you know what I mean? I can't say that. I can't say that the economy is going to be back to normal tomorrow. But one thing that I know is that, you know, there is and I'm starting to get goosebumps from it. So that means I'm about to get, okay, I know where I'm at now. I'm good. One thing that I do know is that we as people are fragile individuals. We are up and down, you know, sometimes in a matter of the same minute. We are dealing with all types of things in our own personal lives. We have no clue what the next person is dealing with. And unless somebody just comes to you and just tells you exactly what they're dealing with, I mean, you really have no clue, right? You don't know. So one thing that I think that we really can do to really combat this thing is to be cognizant of that right there and fully understand that we don't know what the next person is next person is dealing with. And as a result of that, yo, let's just show more love, yo. Like, this is a very fragile time. And what brought this up, man, is like, because it baffles me to see. So I'm super social media now for all of a sudden. Like, I'm just into it. I like it. Like, it's cool to me. You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, you know, well, not all of a sudden, all like on my timeline and everything, I'm just seeing people who still choose to kind of bathe in negativity. And, you know, I'm trying not to sound judgmental, but I'm also just trying to hold people responsible for that behavior. Because to me, right now, I just don't understand how you can even find room to even do something or to be of a negative light right now. Like, I can't even imagine that. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a serious time, and a time that our, I guess, society is really counting on each other, really. You know, like one of my favorite radio hosts down in DC, shout out to Poe, you know, always uses the term village. And when you really think about it, we are just one big village, you know. And sometimes it's not about knocking on your neighbor's door to see if they need some water. Sometimes it's not about seeing if they need some sugar or anything like that. Sometimes nobody asks for sugar anymore. Like, nobody does that. Like, that's so 50s. But you know what I mean. Sometimes it's not about giving somebody something. Sometimes it's about giving them a feeling. And this is what I'm trying to get into. In this fragile time, man, one thing that we can do to guarantee that, you know, we hold each other down, to guarantee that that nobody feels alone in this weird time, you know, to guarantee that we're there for each other as much as possible. One thing that we can really do is make it our sole purpose to carry a light everywhere we go. Now, if you, hopefully you listening to, what your governor or what just what the government is saying that we should do and staying inside and whatnot. But even though we're inside, we're still together. Like, even like right now, you're in my studio. Like right now, you are right here, right now, whether it's social media, whether it's bumping into somebody at the grocery store, whether it's seeing somebody at work. Shout out to the essential workers. Thank you so much for what you do. And especially shout out to the nurses too. Thank you guys for what you do as well. No matter. Well, I guess nurses and essential workers are the same thing. God, this is gonna take some getting used to. It's just because I'm watching myself, and I don't even mean to watch. I'm just trying to make sure that everything runs properly. This is literally the first time doing this. But it'll fall through. But anyways, when you're on that essential job, when you are at that essential place, that grocery store, when you are pumping gas to, whatever, when you are with your spouse, when you are with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, when you are with your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, the people that are in the house, whoever you are with right now, know and understand that person could be dealing with something that you have absolutely no clue about. Understand that person could be digesting all of this in the roughest way, what may be easy for you to digest may be difficult for somebody else to digest, We have no clue how people are dealing with this right now. I mean, I've literally seen people who have been crying to me over the last couple of days, and then I've seen people who are just overly jubilant. And it's just like, I don't know, it just shows me that, like, I just, everybody's just kind of all over the place right now. But with you not knowing, with us not knowing what everybody's going through, the single thing that we can do is just show love and be there for them. And not to be so negative, not to be so aggressive with each other, to be a little more loving, you know what I mean? And I mean, just to look out for folks, I'm a firm believer that we're not just people who are just here for no reason, man. Like I've never subscribed to the idea that, like, you just live and die. Like I've never subscribed to that. It's just a weird thinking to me, I come from the school and the understanding and the ideology that we're here for a reason. Everybody has something that, they're here to do. I think so. And I think that we all carry light. I think that we all have something within us that has the ability to illuminate to the rooms around us, to the people around us, has the ability to just to brighten places up and to change the scene a bit, Now, the thing with that light is when you're not using your light, all right, you also can be like a covering on other people's lights. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what's coming to me. Like, when you're not lit, you're covering light, And so when you try to hold that light off, when you try to hide that light, sometimes you end up hiding other people's lights, And that's how we end up being negative and bitter towards each other when we're out in public. And when you see somebody bumps into you by accident, it was an accident, somebody steps on your shoes or something like that. Like, all of those little things, all those little moments, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All of them little things, I think personally we should throw that out the window right now, at least until this is over with. Like, if you want to be petty after the virus, I mean, that's your business. I wouldn't recommend it because why? Like, it's just extra, being extra negative for absolutely no reason. But it ain't no room for the petty right now. It ain't no room for none of that, man. The only room we have is to really look out for each other and really understand that, we literally are here together. And I ain't talking about the world. Like, okay, yeah, the world is together. Whoop-de-doo. Society, like our culture, you know what I mean? Like, different cultures, different neighborhoods, different communities, understanding that you're there together, And although you're distanced, You're not disconnected. So I know for me personally, one of the things that I've been trying to do over the last couple of days is I've really been focusing and just adhering to like my inner voice. And what the inner voice has been kind of doing is just guiding me, guiding me from different conversations and dealings with people. It's been kind of slowing reality down to the point where I'm able to increase my reaction time to different things that happen in the world. And one of those things that I've been able to increase my reaction time to is those conversations with people and understanding that everything is so fragile right now, And for me, like I said, it's just been kind of like an out-of-body experience. And I don't know if that's something that you would want, like if that's a technique that you want to try maybe or whatever, or if it's something that you're already doing, you can put in the comments because I would, love to know. But like I said, for me personally, I've just been overly cognizant about what everybody else could be dealing with. And everything that like ain't important, I make sure that it ain't nowhere near important. We're not trying to ruin nobody's days. We all waking up right now weird. It ain't no room for that. We're not trying to ruin nobody's days, We're not trying to let nobody down. We're trying to do as many favors as possible for each other. That's the kind of world we should be in right now, because whether you're talking money, whether you're talking like time, whether you're talking like just well, I guess this is part of time, but just some people just need somebody to be there with them. Like I never forget when that little baby, that baby earthquake happened here on the East Coast back in 2009. That was the day that I met Kathy Hughes as well. Great day. It was really dope. Except for the earthquake. But what I noticed in that earthquake is, so when it happened, right, quick story. When it happened, I drove up to the radio station. I was an intern. I was 19 years old. I drove up there because I wanted to learn what happens in emergency situations and, just kind of get an idea of, how people react, and also get an idea of the angle or like the position that the radio station should take in crises or in like emergency situations and stuff like that. So went up there and everything. And one of the things that I noticed that I never forget that, probably the biggest lesson that I held on to, I put it like that, was, people were just calling in just to have somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? People were calling in just to kind of get their emotions out. Like people were, I know looking back, the earthquake really nothing. If you here on the East Coast, you know what I'm talking about. But it's people who are really scared when that happened because, all those conspiracy theories floating around, bro. Like some people thought it was the end of the world. Some people didn't know what was happening, and then some people really didn't care. But it was wild because everybody was calling in just to kind of get their opinions out there, just to kind of have somebody to listen to them, and just to kind of get their fears out there, just to be honest about all of that. Sometimes that's all people need, man. Sometimes that's all people need. In times of crisis, in like emergency situations like what we're dealing with right now, in a pandemic, I ain't even... Like that word was like used for parties and stuff. Like this is real. This is crazy. Used to be used for words for parties. I hope nobody uses it now. But in the middle of this pandemic, it's like the best thing to do is just to be good energy, be good vibes, and carry good energy. Like it's health-wise, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just going to be honest about it. I have no clue what to tell you health-wise. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've seen people who have gone out with masks on and still get sick or whatever, and I've seen people who gone out with absolutely nothing and still get sick, and it's affecting different people, in different ways. So I can't speak for the health side of it. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can tell you is just stay in the crib. But the emotional side of this, the psychological side of this, the dang, I wish I had another big word. It's like nah. But the emotional and the psychological side of it, I can tell you, like, to really hold on to the idea that we are distanced but not disconnected, I think that allows us to continue to be warm individuals for each other. And I think that's all it's really got to be, you know. You can't predict every storm, you know. You can't prepare for everything. It's caught everybody off guard. It's caught all of us off guard, even the people that we owe money to. Okay, like everybody's just like, look, we don't know what's going on, man. We have no clue. But it's different, you know. Like, don't be ignorant about the fact that there is an emotional and psychological side about this. I mean, with this. Like, don't be ignorant about it, you know. Know and understand that everybody's going through something. And I think that is what helps fuel and propel that sense of humility that's necessary for all of us to coexist and to get through this together, you know. So I hope that makes sense. I'm all over the place, and I'm trying to get it together and figure out you know, how all of this works. But you know, the premise of it, man, is just be a good person and to be a better than good person right now. That's it. Anything that's based in hatred or any type of, you know, I don't want to say hatred again, but just negativity, evil, you know, conniving, all of that. Throw that out the window, man. Throw that out the window. If, you know, if down the road, like in a couple of months, if we decide, okay, we want to be petty again, which is crazy, you'll never hear me say that. But if you decided that's the life you want to go back to, that's on you, you know. But right now, we literally just do not know what can put somebody over the edge. And no matter the distance, we need to remain connected as possible. So that is this episode of the Brian's World Podcast. Starting next week, I guess starting tonight. I'm going to do these episodes every Thursday on here. And then I may just pop up, period. But every Thursday, I want to do a full show. And starting next Thursday, I kind of want to do like segments. I want to go into like, you know, the top news story, the top entertainment story, the top music story, and I just want to have a good show. You know, I want to pretty much do some of the things that I used to do on the radio, but just do it more like visual too. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm anxious to see where this goes. I think the chat actually was disabled. It's like a message just saying that I got to hit some button or whatever. But I'm going to look at all of this and get all of this straight. And then I will see you next Thursday. If you got any questions or anything, just drop it in the comment section. I'll make sure that I reply to you. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. And you can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the above. Just look up at Brian's World Live. I will follow you back. And send me a DM too. Just let me know that you came in from YouTube so I can be your friend. All right, baby. Peace.